What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Brothers of Recovery. I am your Maestro of Madness. I'm your, I don't know. I'm trying to think of another name. I'm your Conductor of Chaos.
Conductor of Chaos.
Conductor of Chaos, that's a good one. My name is Brother Sean. To my next to me, I mean, it could be any way that you're viewing it, or if you're listening, it is what it is. But got Brother Josh. How you doing, Brother Josh?
Doing great. Everybody can refer to me as the Oracle from now on.
Oh man, the Oracle. Oh shit. Okay, we got the Oracle. We got the Conductor of Chaos. So yeah, man, Brother Josh, how was your week?
Thank you for asking, like always. My week was awesome, man. So me and my fiance, we are going to be officially taking over the condo. Her father has been in the process of moving out. He had a modular home built on him and his girlfriend's property. So they tore down the old house. They built the new house. It's been a long time coming. He's got open space in the backyard. It's nice and quiet. It's like kind of like close to the mountains a little bit. And he's right by all the apple orchards right up there in PA. So my week's been really good. We went up there this Saturday. We helped him. We moved some more stuff for him, and just seeing how happy he is makes me happy. And I've only known him for a short while. I'd say like a year, but I have the utmost respect for this man. And he gave me my fiance. I'll give him credit for that. So yeah, I'm
That's
very
true.
happy.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's cool. And then you get to get rid of all the Raven stuff.
I know, man. I'm about to put up some Chicago Bears and Bulls and wrestling stuff. Yeah. If she
Nice.
lets me.
Does she let you? Yeah. I mean, that is very true. That is very true. Oh man, my week has been wild. So yeah, I had my gym session Friday, and I got out the gym, and I was like, I need a bigger TV, and I communicated this with Brother Josh, and I went to the store, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy a TV, and so I looked at the TVs, and I was like, I don't know, 75-inch doesn't seem to be like the size for me. I'm gonna go 85-inch. God, look, man, being the only person here at the house trying to put an 85-inch TV. I'm not 85 inches tall, okay? I'm probably 85 inches tall, but that thing is huge. So yeah, man, I had to learn how to shimmy things up by myself, which was cool. I worked on another tincture this week to help people that are suffering from like seasonal allergies and stuff. So I'm excited about that. That was inspired by a friend of mine's Facebook post. His name is Chris Dreisbach in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He's good friends with our mutual friend Jesus Rodriguez, and he was talking about seasonal allergies, and he was like, I don't want a run of the mill like seasonal allergy med, and I was like, I can make a tincture for that. So I did, and it was cool. So also getting prepped for this metaphysical market. If you're watching this on Friday, it's going to be underway already. So, anyways, if you're in the Maryland area, like at all, and you want to come and see me, come to the Westminster Mall. It's dead, I know, but I'll be there.
I wouldn't even call it a mall anymore.
No, dude, no. It's more like I don't even know. I go there because my favorite metaphysical shop's there. That's the only reason I go.
Yeah. I used to work in that mall when I was like 23, and that's
Yeah.
when the mall was still like popping, like everybody be there Friday and Saturday night. I
That's
worked in
it.
the phone store, like a T-Mobile phone store. Shout out T-Mobile. Let's get some sponsorship going. Um
T-Mobile. Hey,
but
I have T-Mobile.
I have Verizon, but just we'll keep that on the hush, you know.
Shh.
But oh, and another thing, everybody that's watching, I just don't want you guys to think I'm a bad friend. All I am is a phone call away.
Mhm.
I would have helped him put his TV up. Just saying. He didn't put that.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. I didn't. I mean, Josh is a good friend. He would have been there, hop, skip, and a jump. But I had to be a manly man, and then I spent the rest of my day on the couch because it was like I'm done for the day.
Yeah. I would have came locked and loaded with short jokes saying the TV's bigger than you and everything.
Shit, and your shorty short shorts, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And your Shawn Michael referee attire.
Oh dude, I would have came prepared, blaring sexy boy when I show up to your house.
That's great. That's great. So we're gonna jump off of the check-ins, and we're gonna go into our topic for the day. Our topic for today is quite controversial.
Gonna be a
Around
rough
the
one.
recovery, yeah, around the recovery sphere. Now, we're just gonna share our opinions, and by no means are we saying if you fall into this category, you're a horrible person or you're not sober or any of that. Our programs dictate otherwise. So today we're going to be talking about MAT, or medically assisted treatment. And it's a hot topic in the recovery community, depending on where you go. You can go to some places and they'll fully accept you, and then other places will shun you. And that goes in the realm of everything from alcohol treatment to addiction, harder stuff, the treatment there, as well as like, green cards for marijuana. And we'll lump all that together. We'll talk about it, but we don't want to talk about just the bad things. We want to talk about the good things too, because there are good things around the corner with everything that we talk about. There's just the stigma around it, and we kind of want to address it. So we are going to dive into it. Before we dive into it, brother Josh, is there anything that you want to say prior to us jumping in?
Um, I just want to put it out there to anybody that's watching and everything. These are our opinions. It does not mean that we think less of you. It's just our opinions based on what we've experienced, especially coming from me from working in the recovery field in programs that accept MAT and some that don't, and some that only accept certain forms. So it's strictly opinion based. Feel free, if you want to, you can leave a comment and you could give us your viewpoint. We're absolutely open to every viewpoint, and we can discuss it next episode, or we could bring you on and you could discuss it. So that's all I really wanted to say. Just disclaimer for that.
Absolutely. Now, I'm pretty sure that my opinion of MAT will be different from brother Josh's, and then brother Brandon. Um, it may be different from his, right? So, but the good thing about this is we're not here to shy away from the hard conversations. We actually encourage the hard conversations, because that's what recovery is all about. It's about having those rough conversations and sharing our experiences, and not diving into biases, right? And just talking about facts and stuff like that. So we're going to dive into this. We are going to talk about this because I feel like this is important. Share screen, not invite guests. Okay, cool. Anyways, what is medication assisted treatment? And this is coming off the American Addiction Centers.org website, at addictions medications. So I'm just going to read a little bit of it. We're going to talk about, some of the sections, and then we're going to go and talk about what we actually feel about it. So, as would be expected, given the name, medications are an indispensable element of MAT methods, but they aren't the only component of such treatment. Instead, MAT entails a combined approach to treat substance use disorder. MAT combines pharmacological, I think, treatments, medications, uh, behavioral treatment with behavioral treatments or evidence-based therapies that is tailored to a patient's unique needs. Many people have been helped in recovery through this whole patient-focused approach in its various forms. MAT may effectively minimize cravings, block some of the rewarding properties of certain substances, and ultimately decrease drinking and continued substance use behaviors. The goal of MAT is fully recovered, whatever or however. MAT has also been shown to increase patient survival rates, increase treatment retention rates, decrease criminal activity related to opioid use and other drug use, and increase patients' abilities to gain or maintain employment. MAT is a comprehensive approach to treatment. In its various phases, it incorporates strategies to address several components of your life, including vocational issues, medical and mental health concerns, family issues, and legal concerns through monitoring, support, screening, referrals, and counseling. We're going to stop here. We're going to jump back into it here in a second. But with that first section outlined, with like, I would say it's a syllabus of like what you should expect. How does that make you feel, brother Josh?
So coming from my viewpoint, like I said, I worked in programs that, accept people on MAT and some that don't, and some only accept certain forms. Um, I believe that it helps. Um, I believe that, um, everything has its pros and cons in life. So you're going to get the good with the bad. And a lot of them, depending on the program and depending on the individual, the bads outweigh the good. Um, I'll say, for instance, methadone. I have strong opinions against methadone. I think it's one of the worst MATs. People literally become, and I use this word, and I really don't like this word because it's derogatory, but I feel like it's gonna drive the point home. Um, on methadone, people become junkies and they become so dependent on methadone. I've worked in a program where the program actually opened their own methadone clinic to get the money from the methadone and forced their clients to switch from a well reputable methadone clinic to their half-assed methadone clinic, and they weren't even getting the dosages right. They weren't sending the right amount to like the house that I ran, or they wouldn't even just send it sometimes because they were like, "Oh, well, they didn't pay us this week." You can't just up and stop somebody's treatment like that because it causes more problems. Because with methadone, if you don't have that, you go through immense withdrawal symptoms, and it's almost as bad as withdrawing off of heroin, any other like no, I won't say alcohol. Alcohol is the worst withdrawal. Um, but I also have like strong opinions against Suboxone because people sell their Suboxone
Yeah.
and it becomes an issue in certain recovery houses and communities when you're prescribing somebody Suboxone, and it's just like giving someone a script for pills. Like for me, like if I was still in my active addiction and I'm trying to get off opioids and everything like that, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna put you on this Suboxone." I'm gonna think of it as, "Oh, this is just like a pill." And once I feel like that Suboxone's not really doing anything for me because it's just an opioid blocker, I can easily go sell it to somebody. And when I was in prison, people were selling Suboxone strips for like $300-400, and they're not that big. And they would literally take off a little corner piece, put it into a spoon, add water to it, and snort it. So I have strong opinions against Suboxone as well. The one that I do stand behind because it's had the most like success rate is Sublocade, the once a month injection. And I've not heard anybody say anything negative about it. A lot of programs are switching to Sublocade because it's a once a month injection, and that's all you really have to worry about. Uh, I think that they just started accepting it with a lot of different insurances because a while there, only certain insurances would cover it. So if we can get to that point where it's accepted by every insurance company, if it's accepted by every program, because Sublocade is the most effective one. I will stand behind Sublocade because I've seen a lot of positive from it. Um, I guess we could talk about. I'm gonna let you talk now, but I guess we can get into the medical marijuana in a second.
So yeah, so we're gonna dive into that here in a second. But as you were talking about methadone, I agree with you. And there's a really good documentary about methadone. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's from Russell Brand, and you can find it on like Netflix. You can find it on YouTube, but it like it shows him going around to different clinics in the UK that give methadone, and he's like, you're killing people. Like
Yep,
you are like, and Russell Brand's been sober for a while, and I'm fucking proud of him. He's like somebody that I really want on the show, on my
dude, that
show.
would be
But
awesome.
yeah, yeah. I'd much rather have him than Steve-O, in my opinion. Um,
I would rather
I'm
have you,
just saying.
Steve-O. Don't listen to him.
Hey, to each their own. That this is the hot topic. But um, anyways, it's a really good documentary, and and it actually goes into his own personal trauma on top of like him going around to different clinics. Like he walks by the house that Amy Winehouse died in, and you find out like how close him and Amy Winehouse actually were in real life, and that's like holy shit,
Yeah,
right? Like Amy Winehouse was the one that got him hooked on drugs. Like it's fucking crazy.
yeah,
And he'll never blame her for that, but I mean that's the honest to God's truth. She was the one who introduced him into drugs. Um, but I agree with the methadone thing. You're pumping people full of full of chemicals, and you create dependency. And I had the same situation when it came to Suboxone, and I'm going to share that later on when we get into that and to the medication section. But we're going to dive back into the reading on the website, and then we'll discuss some more. So here we go. Da-da-da-da-da-da. All right. What are the components of MAT? MAT combines FDA-approved medications with various behavioral therapies for addiction treatment. This combination has proven effective for the comprehensive treatment of certain substance use disorders. It allows for the simultaneous pharmacological, I think that's how you say it, management of some of the physical symptoms associated with the substance use or substance withdrawal, as well as behavioral therapy or behavioral therapeutic interventions for related psychological, mental, and emotional issues. Before entering MAT program, individuals undergo a thorough assessment by a physician, which I don't think is correct, which helps the physician determine the appropriate course and level of MAT, including the best medications for an individual's particular needs. Patients often start with a period of medical detox to help them become stable as they withdraw from the substance. They may then progress through a more rehabilitative phase of treatment program that strives to empower them to better cope with major life issues. While all the while, a combination of medication and therapy will continue to be utilized. At the completion of the more rehabilitative and supportive phase of MAT, a patient will transition to medical maintenance treatment that mainly involves medication to help manage their substance use disorder in the long term. MAT uh, drugs that you may receive vary depending on the type of substance use disorder being treated. In the cases of opioid use disorder management, treatment medications may, at some point, be gradually tapered off through long-term maintenance, may last for several years, if not indefinitely. MAT can be used to treat alcohol use disorder and opioid use disorder. So I'm going to lead off with this. MAT is not meant to be for life. And I'm going to say that. Studies have shown that over time, MAT, like being on MAT, has a worse effect on you than it would be if you were off MAT. That is my primary issue with that, is because clinics and treatment centers will tell people you have to have, there goes my camera again, bullshit. They'll say that you have to be on this for the rest of your life in order to survive, which creates dependency. It creates a dependency on that chemical to make you right. Now, I know people who have been sober 10, 15, 20 years that are still on MAT, and I'm like, fuck, man. Like, what are you doing to yourself? Not that anything is wrong with them, and I'll never call them out, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, dude, what are you doing to yourself? Right? Like, you are at this point dependent on another chemical to keep you sane. So, brother Josh, what you got on that section?
I totally agree. A lot of MAT, like the the different medication and everything, they breed codependency. And that's where I have issue with certain program standards that accept MAT. You're pretty much telling them that if they're not on this, you're going to relapse, you're going to die, you're going to not be successful in life. So you're breeding codependency, which is just as damaging as if they were still in active addiction. So there's got to be, and I understand it's a money thing. A lot of the programs out there, I've worked for some pretty money hungry ones, but I've also worked for some that actually care about the individual. um so I'm not going to say all programs are like that, but the majority, that's why there's such a big stigma on programs right now, and in recovery programs and even mental health programs as well. It is a lot of the clients sitting there saying, "Oh, you're just doing this for the money." And as someone that's dealt with clients, face to face, like, how do I broach that subject? How can I alleviate your concerns that the company is just doing this for the money? Me just being a foot soldier, how can I explain to you that this isn't just about money for me? You know, so it's that codependency thing where they're just we're gonna have to talk about that in an episode about programs. I
Yeah,
got a lot to
yeah,
say about that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I had a guest on one of my on my recovery podcasts. His name is Dr. Rob Kelly. Phenomenal man, phenomenal human being. I'm pretty sure you've heard of him.
I watched the episode.
Oh, okay. You watched the episode. He said something in there that blew me away. Right, like as much as I blew him away in the episode, he blew me away. And one of the things that he said was that Big Pharma is pushing medications for people to take and creating codependency. And this is coming from a man who owns his own clinics and he sees patients and he's like, no, there's got to be a better way.
Mhm.
And to me, that screams authenticity more than anything. Right. When I
Yeah,
hear when I talk to somebody and I hear them say, I need this in order to cope, to me that says you've already been dependent on the chemical.
yeah,
To me that screams you're dependent on the chemical. Now I understand if you're in early recovery, like a year in, right, and you've lived a life and you've been banging lines and knocking back pills like they're this liquid death over here.
yeah.
But that, or shooting up heroin, or doing meth, like, I understand, I get it, right? But when you're 3, 4, 5 years in to recovery, you need to start looking at living a life off of those substances because they're not helping you. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying that anybody's bad for doing that. if they are continued on that pattern.
Well, and to
So go ahead.
touch on that real quick, like if there's someone that has 10, 15 years clean, right? And
Yeah.
you're going to meetings, all right? And you're still taking Suboxone or you're still using methadone, you know, do what you need to do for your recovery. Absolutely. But it also brings that negative outlook from the rest of the people in the meeting. They're like, "Oh, well, he's not really sober. He shouldn't be getting that, 10-year chip or a year chip or whatever it is." Because like a lot of people believe that that's not real sobriety. That's not real recovery. I'm not saying I agree with that, but MAT has
It's the
brought that,
optics.
yeah, they brought that negative optics to the recovery community. Now, I agree with, Dr. Kelly, of course, the big pharma, they're always trying to make a buck at everybody's expense, whether it be for drugs, for the MAT program, or even like mental health medication. It's all the same. And I'm a person that takes mental health medication and I'm trying to get off of it because I realize it has residual long-term effects. And I need to step away and find a different avenue to explore.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Dr. Rob also said something, and as a clinician, he said if your if your doctor or your psychologist or psychiatrist, well, psychiatrist would be the one that's
Yeah.
prescribing medication. If they're not asking you about your sleep habits, about your eating habits, about your daily routine, your daily activity habits, and you're coming in and you're saying, I'm depressed or I'm, suicidal, or I'm all these other things, right? Then they're not doing you a service because those are three core areas in your life that can improve everything over time, right? If you're
Mhm.
eating good, and we're not talking about eating good because you have money. We're talking about eating healthy,
Yeah.
like eating healthy.
Clean
If you're
foods.
clean foods, right? If you're eating clean foods, if you're getting, solid sleep every night, uninterrupted sleep, and a certain amount of time sleep that will help rejuvenate your body and your brain. And then also your daily activity. So if you're just sitting on the couch, sure shit, you're going to be depressed. But if you're up and you're active, you're going to the gym once or twice a week, maybe even 3 times a week. I go 3 times a week. Or if you're out and you go for a walk nightly, or for an extended period of time, you're less likely to develop those depressive moments than you would be if you were just sitting on a couch. And trust me, I'm guilty of sitting on my couch. I do it a lot.
Yeah, I'm literally
I
doing it
enjoy
right
my
now.
couch.
So
Yeah, yeah. Brother Josh is doing it right now. He's sitting on his damn couch. Okay, so we'll go ahead. We're going to hit this next section. And now this next section is about medications that are there, which is cool because now we're leading into that part of the conversation. Okay, so medications used to help you stop drinking alcohol. To treat alcohol use disorder, individuals may receive a camprosate. I don't know what that is. This helps people who are already in recovery avoid alcohol use. Typically starts on the fifth day of abstinence. It does not prevent withdrawal symptoms, but helps individuals avoid alcohol use. Whatever that second one is, dysphorphuriamin. I guess I don't say it, but this is,
disulfiram.
yeah, yeah, that word. This is designed to decrease drinking behavior in people who have already detoxed or who have began a period of abstinence. It causes unpleasant symptoms if you drink, and it can help decrease relapse risk when taken daily. Naltrexone. This helps block some of the rewarding and reinforcing effects of alcohol to decrease the likelihood of continued drinking. Medications used to help you stop misusing opioids. To treat opioid use disorder, OUD, individuals may receive uh, benoprofene.
Buprenorphine.
This, yeah, that too. That word. Um, this partial opioid antagonist, or uh, agonist, I guess, has
Yeah.
a very high affinity for opioid receptors. It can reduce cravings and minimize some of the uncomfortable symptoms of opioid withdrawal. Oh, I don't like that one. Methadone, a longer acting full opioid agonist, uh, at least they're saying full opioid. Methadone reduces withdrawal symptoms and cravings, and through the development of cross tolerance, may diminish the euphoric high of other opioids should they be used during methadone treatment. Naltrexone, this opioid receptor antagonist, blocks the euphoric and sedating effects of opioids when utilized for opioid use treatment or opioid use disorder treatment. It may help to suppress opioid cravings and discourage continued opioid misuse. That was a tongue twister, a lot. And they didn't even talk about other substances or other medications.
Yeah.
So out of that list, I'm pretty sure you've heard all of them.
Yes.
Heard of all of them. Yeah. There's only methadone, and what was that other one? Naltrexone. I haven't heard of any of them. I know that there's a shot that you can take for alcohol use disorder that will literally make you sick if you drink.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the naltrexone. It's Vivitrol.
oh, okay. Oh, Vivitrol. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Vivitrol. Yeah, I know some people that get the Vivitrol shot just so that it gets them to a point where they feel safe.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing, but they feel safe, um, using that and um, using the Vivitrol shot. And they didn't even list other medications that are currently being used in treatment centers.
Yeah.
So what do you got? What feelings you got about that?
So I completely like blanked about the Vivitrol shot when I was talking earlier. I've I've dealt with some people that I've worked with when I was working in the recovery community that would go get the Vivitrol shot, and it is a longer lasting MAT, and it can be pretty violent in the beginning of it because alcoholism is it's a rough one. Um, Anybody that has struggled with alcohol use disorder, they know if you've been drinking heavy for years upon years upon years, you can't just stop alcohol because it can literally kill you. And so the Vivitrol shot, I'm kind of up in the air with it because I definitely see the pros, but I also see the cons of it making you so sick to where you don't want to do anything when you first get the shot. Um, it's literally just just like going through withdrawal. And if you're a person that is working full time and then you have to go and get this shot, you're 9 times out of 10 you're calling out for your day of work. Um, and of course, we already know how I stand on methadone and where I stand on that. Like uh, throw it in the dumpster, set the dumpster on fire, douse it with bleach, and set it on fire again.
Mm.
Um, to curse it. So I mean,
Sure.
I want to ask you. I know you're the maestro of madness. But the Oracle needs to ask you a question. Um,
So,
as someone who their substance of choice was alcohol, what did you do? Did you use any kind of medication or anything, or did you just completely abstain?
did not use any medication. I actually got sober. Actually went into jail when I was still drunk, and then got sober in jail. Realized there had to be a better way, and wanted to stray away from medication. Now I did use mental health medication, and we'll talk about that probably at a later date.
Yeah.
But I did not use any substances when I was in jail. Now, much like you, I did see substances floating around jail, and we'll
Yeah.
talk about that after this next section that we talk about, and why my bias against MAT started, and then where I am now. But yeah, I didn't use any substances to get clean or sober.
Okay. So that's bringing me to my point is like
Yeah.
alcohol is very hard to stop. I have a family full of people who have an alcohol use disorder, and they still drink to this day knowing that this is going to kill you, but they're so afraid of the withdrawal symptoms from not drinking alcohol that it causes them to continue to kill their liver, their bodies, by putting the substance in them. I've worked in the recovery community for years now, and I can honestly say that alcohol is the scariest one that I've ever had to deal with because it does so much damage.
It's the worst substance to detox off of. And like you
Mhm.
said before, it can kill you.
Yeah,
Whereas you go in with a withdrawal from like meth or heroin, it's not going to kill you. The likelihood of your survival is a lot higher than alcohol.
yeah,
And that's rough because alcohol is fucking legal.
yeah.
Um, but we're not here to talk about that. um, yeah, yeah. Well, that's a conversation for another day. We'll have those
Yeah.
conversations. Anyways, we're gonna jump into our next bit of information, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about the section about combined with therapy. So MAT may also consist of or occur alongside different behavioral interventions such as cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT to help individuals identify and change unhelpful behaviors and thoughts about themselves and their addiction. Contingency management or CM to help individuals stay motivated by providing tangible rewards like vouchers for goods for positive changes. Community reinforcement approach or CRA to help individuals or sorry, to help identify the reasons for wanting to make changes in one's life and find healthier ways of coping with stress and other triggers to misuse substances. Motivational enhancement, or ME, to help individuals engage and stay motivated in treatment or group therapy. This one can include a variety of groups such as psychoeducation, skills development, cognitive behavioral, interpersonal processing, or support groups. I'm going to say this: no amount of therapy helped me.
Right.
No amount of therapy helped me whatsoever. And I'm just going to say that from the get go. Did it help me with my trauma? Yes, but my alcoholism was fueled by my trauma.
Right.
Right. And that's what we're going to get into another time is how our substance use is fueled by we've been through. And so a lot of the trauma that I faced was fueling my alcoholism and just kept me in the loop. And there goes my there goes my camera again. It wanted to keep me in the loop and it wanted to keep me going. And the more that I tried to stray away from that, the harder my recovery became until I, kind of just gave up and I said, can't do this shit no more.
Yeah.
So, brother, you worked in a treatment facility or multiple ones with
Mhm.
this list of treatments that are available for counseling. What do you have to say about that?
So my part, I was a peer support specialist or peer recovery specialist.
Yeah.
Um, but I worked prior to the program that I was just at, I worked in a doctor's office that specialized in MAT, and they also helped. Mainly, my focus was in the mental health and understanding the trauma of individuals to help with their addiction. So, the cognitive behavioral therapy, the CBT, that's where I kind of fall in line with. and that's like trying to build somebody up and trying not to we're trying to stray away from negative thinking about themselves. And even if that's like I said with the book and everything, to own your bullshit. It's okay to own your past, but it's not okay to dwell on it. You know, if you continuously say like, "Oh, I was such a piece of shit. I did this wrong. I did this wrong. Nobody likes me, blah blah blah." You're not healing. And, I'm a huge supporter of therapy, if- but when it comes to therapy involving MAT, I don't really understand it. Um, I believe that therapy should just be used for your trauma and getting to the center and the real uh filling, I'll say, of that jelly donut pretty much to see what is actually causing you to want to use. Because a lot of people, it's just to numb their pain from that past trauma. That's why you see a lot of people that have been uh, sexually assaulted or molested, they turn to substances because, especially if they haven't gone the therapy route, because they haven't taken the time to actually see what the root cause of their problem is. So they choose to use substances to dull that pain. So the group therapy works a lot. I do see that in a lot of programs because it allows you don't feel singled out because you hear other people's stories and you're like, oh, okay, so maybe not mine's not that bad, or this person's just like me. It makes you feel like you're not alone. So yeah, I mean that's where I stand on it.
I can envision a counselor talking to a client that's on MAT and talking to them about how they feel, but you're still talking to somebody that about how they feel while they're on a substance,
Right.
right? And that's not a bad thing. That's not a good thing. It just is, right? It just is. Um, yeah. So CBT, I've done CBT, I've done CPT,
Mm,
done all forms of therapy, but most of my, I have had one counselor that was in recovery. He was a veteran. He was in recovery for alcoholism, and I was like, "You are my fucking white buffalo, white buffalo,
I use
um,
the white buffalo term all the time.
white buffalo." Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So that was it for me because we both understood each other and where we came from. But I'm gonna get into the story as to like my perspective on MAT and why I feel the way that I do and how things have changed. So when I went into jail, probably about halfway through my stay at hotel not so long Alaska, um, there was my cellmates, and they came in one day and they say, "Hey, you want to try this?" And I was like, What the fuck is that?" And they were like, "Suboxone." And I was like, "No, I'm good. What is like?" At first, I was like, "Well, what is it?" And they were like, "Oh, it's for you know." They said that it gets us home. So right off the bat, I'm already like, "No, no,
Hmm.
friend." And then I sat and watched them do it, and they would. You said that they snorted it. Well, in Anchorage, they mixed it and put it in their Bibles, and I was like, "Dude, what the fuck?"
Hmm.
Right? And so, like, when I heard people when I was in veteran treatment court and people were talking about being on Suboxone, I was like, "Oh fuck no! Like, you're not clean, you're not sober, you're substituting a substance for another one." And then one of my medics from the army, I interviewed him, and he told me I saw him in person, and him and I sat down. He shared with me his journey in recovery and how MAT's helping him, but he's been tapered off the MAT for a while. He was on Suboxone. And I was like, okay, well, here's two drastic differences, right? guys in jail that I saw that were taking it to get fucked up. And here's my medic from the army that I trust with my life telling me that he's tapered off of it or on the lowest dosage. Now he still uses it, right? It's the lowest dosage, but he's not using it to get high. He's using it to stabilize himself, which again, I understand, but also you're at this point in your recovery where you no longer need it, but life is becoming stressful for you. So can you survive without this Suboxone? Or do you need it to survive? And that's where like the codependency I see comes in. And it's like if you're using it to escape the feeling of I could relapse, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to actually test it out and see. I know you don't want to test fate and you don't want to jump down that rabbit hole, but I guarantee you if you jump off Suboxone, or you taper it off to the point where they're like, hey, we can't give you anymore. I think you're going to be okay because you've already taken the highest dosage that they'll give you, dropped it down to the lowest dosage that they're going to give you, which is literally you're probably just dusting off dust off of the shelf at that
Yeah.
point. So I have a difference of opinion when it comes to MAT, but it's not much of a huge difference. Now, a hot topic because it is such a hot topic in the community, and they're going to shut down shop. Medical marijuana, brother Josh.
Mhm.
What you think of it?
So I can't really say I'm against it because
No answer is wrong. No answer is wrong.
right, right. I can't really say I'm against it because when I was first diagnosed with cancer back in 2012, if it would have been legal for medicinal use, I would have totally went that route instead of the pills that they were giving me. Um, so I definitely see the benefits more than the cons with it. A really good friend of mine, his name is Rick Glass. He has a nonprofit called Canna Cares, and he goes to all the county meetings and everything to talk to these people about trying to make it have less of a stigma in the recovery community because I believe that if you regulate it, and I don't want to say regulate because that sounds so like law and order kind of thing, but if you manage it well within your program, and I'm not saying like smoking a bowl and smoking a bong. No, they have the oils and everything. So use that for trying to go to sleep at night. I've had discussions with my fiance about it. For me, I have really bad anxiety and depression and PTSD from being locked up so many years of my life. And I've had discussions with her about, how would you feel if I got off of the mental health medications and I started using medical marijuana? And I was like, I don't like the smell of it when it's burning. But, she even suggested, the gummies and, maybe just have one at night to help me sleep. Because I will say, with the mental health medication that I take, like I have trouble sleeping sometimes. Like it keeps me wired and I wake up in the morning and I feel groggy, but then I take the medication and about like an hour or two later, I'm good to go. And it's almost like legal speed at this point. And I just I'm a huge supporter of medical marijuana because their list of benefits are exponential compared to like Suboxone. You know, because nobody's going to want to sell their own weed. They like to smoke it.
Mhm. It's
I mean,
true.
and you're not going to sell medical marijuana to get marijuana from someone on the street. No, you got medical
Mhm.
marijuana. It's good. Like,
Mhm. Yeah, right. I agree. And I'm gonna say I agree wholeheartedly with what you just said. And I agree because I've seen the benefits of it, not just on myself, but on other people.
Right.
My so there's a dude I recorded. His name is Rich Garris. It just so happens he's my uncle. And I recorded with him. I think his episode posted like 2 weeks ago. Anyways, um, he was an avid drinker. Like, and
Mm.
I mean, like, I watched. He came down for my daughter's first birthday, and I said no alcohol in the house, and he went into convulsions on my couch, like full blown like detox on the couch, dude. And it was the scariest thing I've ever seen outside of like combat stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Especially because it's my uncle, and then him and I, our sober dates are like a month apart, and um, he grows his own plants because it's medically and recreationally accepted in Virginia where he lives. Grows his own plants. He smokes his own weed, he makes his own brownies and stuff like that, and it helps him. And it's not his drug of choice. And I think what I have to say about all this whole conversation is my opinion is that if it's not your drug of choice and it's helping you and it's keeping you clean and sober, that's fine. Right. Now I'm not saying switch from alcohol to fucking meth. Like I'm obviously not saying that, but what I am saying is like if if you're out here and alcohol was your thing and you take a few hits from pen and it's not a detriment to your life, that's not a big deal in my opinion. For me it's helped out a lot. It's mellowed me out. Um, it's taken my pain away. A good majority of my pain is helping me sleep. There's a great benefit to it. I'm not fucking lazy and I do it right before bed too.
Who is your
Look at
cameraman?
like,
Danhausen? Like,
dude,
come on.
yeah, dude. No, I got this camera that likes to just follow my hands apparently. But anyways, so it helps in ways that medication has not. Now, actually, I went to my psychiatrist at the VA, and I was like, I know that you guys aren't going to approve of this, but I don't give a shit. I'm not taking your poison anymore. I was taking, mental health medication because I was taking an SSRI,
Yep.
and when I was on it, it made me tired. I was unproductive during my day. It upset my stomach. The side effects were far worse than the actual treatment itself. So, I told her I wasn't going to take it. I brought the pills to the office. I gave them to her. I said, "Hey, look, nothing against you or your job, but I'm not taking it. There's a holistic approach that I can go to." And it was like 1,000 spark plugs in my brain just going off all at one time. I tried to take Advil for it, wouldn't work. I tried to take, all the different over the counter medications that I could to alleviate that brain pain. Nothing helped. But
Yeah.
we did. And so, I don't use it to get high. And that's one of the things that my daughter's mom and I talked about. Because I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not doing it to get high. I'm doing it to alleviate the pain, and it's doing that. And I'm not getting fucking stoned. I'm still
Right.
productive in my day, you know. And it's like I take a hit or two off of a pen when I first started, and everything was fine. No pain, no nothing. And then, now I have gummies that I use, nightly or whenever I feel like I need them, and it helps me go to sleep. It helps me get a restful night's sleep where I would normally wake up in the middle of the night, or I wouldn't go to bed till like 3 in the fucking morning and have to be up at 9.
Yeah.
So, and I know like 9 o'clock is super late for someone like you, Josh.
Actually, my workday starts at 9 o'clock. So,
Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah. But anyways, I've seen the benefits of it, and I'll say this: you'll see far less cases of people being pulled over for being high than you would people under the influence of alcohol or other drugs.
yeah.
So I don't believe that it's a bad thing at all. Some people will say that it's not a good thing for them, and that's fine. But I think to judge somebody else based off of their circumstances is not okay. So,
Yeah. Because you're just you're, if you're a person that is all for MAT, like Suboxone and Sublocade and methadone and everything, and then you judge someone for using marijuana medicinally,
Mhm.
what are you doing? You're uh, uh, this is where like the recovery community kind of like you have your good and bad. Like you got some people that are so great, but then you got people that are so contradictory that it sickens you. Like get your shit together, man. You're starting to sound like a politician. Like
Yeah, no joke. No joke. But at any rate, that is the end of our conversation about MAT. Brother Josh, what are you excited for in this coming week?
I am excited for this weekend to spend it with my beautiful fiance who is sitting right next to me, but she doesn't like being on camera. But take my
Hi,
word for it.
fiance.
Ugh, Sean says hi. She says hello. um, but take my word for it, she's absolutely stunning and I love her. Um, I am excited to spend time with her. I'm excited to continue this new career path and see what it holds for me. I learn something new every day. I go to work and I'm excited and happy, and I don't know if she's been able to tell yet, but like when I come home, I'm not depressed anymore. And I don't feel undervalued like I did before. And I'm excited for the future, man. And I'm excited for Randy Orton to put his boot on Cody Rhodes' face again. I had to throw it in there, Cody Crybaby.
Actually, really like this heel turn. It's great.
It's
Um,
so well done.
it is because you think he's gonna be remorseful, and then he fucking isn't. I wouldn't be surprised if the person on the phone are the voices in his head.
Dude, that would make it so much better. Like he's just like crazy Orton. But
Yeah.
I just want a side note, I just want to say the build for this year's Mania is so well done.
Yeah.
Like last year was like, I really don't care if I watch it. It's cool. I would watch it because it's John Cena's last Mania and the triple threat with Rollins, Punk, and Reigns. But other than that, I was like, eh. But this year, I'm like, dude, this card's so stacked. Like,
Well, I mean, I find myself at points where I'm like, God, I gotta watch through 3 hours of shit to watch the main event. But then it's
yeah,
like there's fillers that I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued now. I'm
Obafemi.
interested now. Oh, dude, Jesus, what he did to Brock these past 2 weeks.
There hasn't been a
Um,
wrestler in so long that when his music hits, I get so hype. Like,
I get goosebumps when I hear his music.
not since Braun Strowman when he first was doing his singles run and he was tearing Roman Reigns apart. Like, I haven't been that excited since that.
Dude, I was in my car today or in my truck today driving home from the gym, and his song came on. I liked songs on Spotify, and I'm sitting there. I was like, in my truck. I'm like, shit, I gotta make it.
Yeah, trying to Femi strut, and you're like, "Oh crap."
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, shit. There. Every time that I hear his song come on TV, I'm like, I got chills, dude, because he's just a fucking aura.
Dude,
Um,
I hurt my chest because I beat my chest like he did when he first. Man, I did it a little too hard. I got a bird chest, so I can't really do it like that.
oh man, my week is gonna be wild, man. It's gonna be filled with talking to people every day, all day. It's gonna be fun though. I'm excited. I have two separate events that I'm doing. So I'm doing this one in Westminster, and then I'm doing one in Martinsburg
Hmm.
following Saturday. So I'm gonna be tired. I'm gonna be super tired, but I'm really excited for SmackDown tomorrow night, or if you're watching on Friday tonight. I'm super excited. I decided to watch whatever AEW's pay per view was,
Yeah, you were
the
texting
last one.
me. And I was like,
Ah,
"Ah."
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'm just excited for Raw and SmackDown. I really want to see the Demon King come back.
I'm really hoping they do that.
Mhm. Or if they're not going to do it at Mania, do like Demon King and Queen have like Stephanie Bakir do face paint. That'd be fucking dope.
Oh yeah, dude.
But
So many different ways they could go about it. Like it's insane.
yeah,
That's for another
yeah.
podcast though.
That's for another time. That's for another time. But anyways, I want to take a moment and thank everybody for listening in and hanging out with us. It's been a good conversation, great conversation. It's always a good conversation when brothers get together and we talk recovery, we talk life, and everything like that. So until the next time, I hope that you guys have a great day. Much love.